15 seconds.
If I have
Hey, Brian's done amazing. Thanks a lot, guys.
Am I 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now your KLBK forecast first.
Right.
Good afternoon. We've already seen one round of showers that came through early this
Is it
morning,
possible to
dropping
take my
really
VO
very
just a
little rain
little
throughout
early?
Lubbock
Like
County.
whenever I say
Now we're getting a
on
break
time.
from the clouds and the showers in our central
Ooh,
counties,
that'd be
but off to the west,
perfect.
here come the thicker clouds working their way in, so all the
Or
sunshine
caught
building
on time.
basically from Lubbock and east,
Yeah,
and the
or
clouds are
when I
coming
say
back
caught.
for return. 71 currently here in Lubbock, and then we're at 65 in Floydada, 67 in Roaring Springs, 70 in Gale, 69 in Tahoka, 68 in Loveland, 65 in Morton, and temperatures in the mid-60s in Freona as well. We'll be hovering actually in the low 70s because of that sunshine by 1 o'clock, and by 5 o'clock we'll see those thunderstorms beginning to enter the area this afternoon, especially for that morning or the evening commute when you get off work today. We'll talk about more details of those showers and thunderstorms coming up a little bit later. KLBK News at Noon starts now.
Bringing you local news that matters in high definition. This is KLBK News at Noon.
Good afternoon, I'm Brittany Escobar. Thanks for joining us. The Front Lubbock Fire says they need your help finding the people responsible for starting a fire inside a church over the weekend. Thanks to security footage, it might make that job a little easier. KLBK's Leslie Adams joins us live from the HD News Center with more. Leslie.
Hey there, Brittany. Well, folks who live around the Smith Lawn Church of Christ know that it has been empty for some time now. But even so, a fire like this could have caused some major damage if not caught on time. Concerned residents were able to capture these two walking away from the church shortly after the fire started on their security footage. Crews were called to the Smith Lawn Church of Christ around 2 Saturday afternoon for a report of a fire. Crews found trash burning inside and quickly put it out. Fire Marshal's office says the fire was intentional and the church has been the subject of vandalism and unreported fires since it closed 3 years ago. The fire does remain an open investigation. Chief Holland says the suspects, if caught, will likely face arson charges. Now, if you know anything about this fire, you can call the Fire Marshal's office at 775-2646 or crime line at 741-1000.
Vandalism taking place there.
15 seconds for the neighborhood and back to PCO.
Making it harder and harder to keep the building secure. As those structures become damaged, then they become more and more of a health and nuisance for the neighborhood.
Now, I did speak with Stuart Walker, head of the city's codes department, who says situations like this do speed up the process of getting an abandoned building like this condemned or demolished or preserved. Now, it's been empty for 3 years now, so clearly still a safety hazard. He says that once the Fire Marshal's office wraps up its investigation, they'll be able to go in and inspect whether or not it needs to be demolished or preserved. Brittany?
Senator Ted Cruz making a few stops in West Texas. The senator spoke at an after-church picnic at the Bear Museum of Agriculture with Congressman Jody Arrington yesterday afternoon. The two talked about issues here on the South Plains and those on Capitol Hill. Senator Cruz discussed with us his top 4 priorities.
Putting strong, principled conservatives on the Supreme Court, honoring our commitment to repeal Obamacare and to drive down the cost of health insurance.
Okay, so I put that script at the bottom of the noon
Regulatory
show.
reform, lifting the burdens on farmers and ranchers and small businesses,
done.
and tax reform, dramatically simplifying the tax code. Ideally, I'd like to see a simple flat tax where we abolish the IRS. If we do those 4, 2017 will be an historic year, and this is poised to be the most productive Congress we've had in decades. If we don't get them done, then I think it'd be an enormous missed opportunity.
Thank you.
So talked about the Farm Bill needing stability, saying agriculture is the backbone of not only West Texas, but of this country. He applauded Congressman Jody Arrington, saying he was on the right track with a leading role in Congress.
We have to have a strong and reliable and responsible, fiscally responsible farm bill for our ag producers. I mean, there's a lot of volatility in a global marketplace. And, you know, we call ourselves a free market economy. The fact is our tax costs, our regulatory costs are very burdensome, not just to throughout the country, but relative to other countries we're competing against.
Senator Cruz will be seeking re-election for his Senate seat for 2018. And one of the most controversial bills in Texas legislation is one step closer to becoming a law. We're talking about the bathroom bill after the Texas House of Representatives passed the second reading late last night. This will keep transgender public school children from using the restroom that matches their gender identity. Now, if the Senate agrees, if the governor doesn't veto it, Texas will become the second state to pass this type of legislation. And Governor Abbott did sign a bill into law stopping state and local governments from issuing subpoenas for religious sermons. He signed it at Grace Church in the Woodlands, where the pastor was one of the several whose sermons were subpoenaed by the city of Houston over the HERO ordinance in 2015. The pastors said their religious rights were violated and the subpoena was withdrawn. Protesters gathered outside the church criticizing Abbott for holding a political event in a house of worship, claiming it violates the separation of church and state. President Trump is in Israel today. It's the second stop on his 9-day foreign trip, and he's receiving a warm welcome from top Israeli leaders. Terry Okita has more.
The President and First Lady toured some of Jerusalem's most sacred religious sites, including the Western Wall. Mr. Trump became the first sitting American president to visit the holiest of Jewish prayer sites. The Trumps also made a stop in the Christian Quarter at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Mr. Trump spent the day meeting with Israel's Prime Minister and President, reaffirming what he called an unbreakable bond between the two countries.
This moment in history calls for us to strengthen our cooperation as both Israel and America face common threats from ISIS and other terrorist groups.
Much of the diplomatic discussions are focused on the need to end fighting between Jews and Palestinians. And this crowd of Israeli women said they hope the U.S. president can help broker a peace deal.
It is an historical opportunity that must not be missed.
President Trump said Israel's Arab neighbors are realizing they share a common cause with Israel in the threat from Iran.
Most importantly, the United States and Israel can declare with one voice that Iran must never be allowed to possess a nuclear weapon. Never, ever.
While Israelis seem generally supportive of Mr. Trump, some are wary of the tougher line he's taken on the building of new Jewish settlements, as well as backing away from his campaign pledge to move the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Terry Okita, CBS News, London.
Now, not only is President Trump the first sitting U.S. president to visit the Western Wall, he is also the first to travel on a direct flight via Air Force One from Saudi Arabia to Israel. A nod, at least symbolically, some say, to the possible decreasing of tensions in that region. And Councilman Steve Massengale will host a town hall meeting for citizens in District 4 tonight. They're encouraged to attend the meeting with questions and concerns. It will be at Honey Elementary starting at 5:30. Police Chief Greg Stevens will also be there to address their efforts in the neighborhood. And still to come, how you may want to switch your baby's beverage at lunch. We'll explain next, but first let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Nick Cranoff to see what we can expect outside.
Well, Brittany, we saw the showers this morning roll through at least parts of the area. We're looking at cloudy skies returning to Lubbock County, which is actually seeing some sunshine. We'll see what that means in terms of our forecast this afternoon. Coming up as KLBK News at Noon continues.
You're a little off center. You need to